Hey guys, it's me Simo Urahara, and in this video we will talk about 15 Bankai that we haven't seen yet in the Bleach storyline. I have previously mentioned some of these Bankai in other videos, but in this one guys, I decided to gather all the characters who have Bankai that we might see in the upcoming parts, specifically the third and the fourth part, or characters who have Bankai, but the possibility of seeing it will be in the Hell arc, if Kubo ever writes that arc. Then there is a small group of characters who have Bankai, but we probably won't see them. Therefore guys, we will start from the Bankai that have the greatest chance of appearing, and the start will be with one of the most anticipated Bankai that the fans want to see. Ichigos true Bankai. The only person who saw this Bankai was Urahara in the future. He described Ichigos Bankai as a terrifying one, so naturally we also want to see this Bankai, especially after the plot twist surrounding the revelation of Ichigo's power. That power we have seen some of it through the Horn of Salvation, Ichigo's true Shikai form. And if we go by what Yurichi said, a Bankai's power is 5 to 10 times greater than the Shikai. So imagine the power of the true Bankai that Urahara saw in the future and was forced to break. Therefore guys, I believe the appearance of Ichigo's true Bankai is based on Kubo's changing the events of the final battle between Ichigo and Urahara, because in that fight, Urahara saw in that vision/dream that Ichigo would defeat him using the Shikai. So will Kubo change the scenario? Maybe, so that Ichigo releases his full Bankai power and kills Urahara. And then we see Ichigo and Yuri using the arrow. In the end guys, it all depends on what Kubo has planned for the final battle and the extent of the changes that will occur. And the next Bankai, which I think is the second most likely one to see in the anime, is Ishin's Bankai. We have seen some hints about Ishin's Bankai by Isen Sasuke's comment that Ishin couldn't release the Bankai if he had a serious wound, implying that Ishin's Bankai put a great pressure on his body, requiring him to be in a good physical situation to use the Bankai. I have previously talked about Ishin's Bankai in an old video, and I said that there is a possibility that Ishin needs blood to release his Bankai, hence why he can't be injured. And I don't know why Kubo removed the reference to Ishin's Bankai in the anime, but I hope that it was to set up its later appearance. For example, Ishin and Ryuken could fight Urahara together before the final battle between their sons and Urahara. And the next Bankai concerns Okitaki's Bankai. To be honest guys, I was going to place Okitaki's Bankai in the category of Bankai we won't see, especially after his fate became tied to Mimihage. So in the manga, there wasn't much of a chance to see his Bankai, but I'm including it here in the hope that there might be a surprise in the third part and we will see Okitaki's Bankai in some way. It is true that Okitaki is still with us in the events of the Hell arc, but it's still too early to talk about his fate there, or whether he's still a Shinigami or has become a Hell Guardian or something like that. And we move on to Kira's Bankai. There is a high chance to see Kira's Bankai in the third part, in my opinion, based on Kubo's comments before the start of the Quincy arc in the manga, where he said that giving Kira Bankai would be a good idea and that giving him one wouldn't be that difficult. And Kubo also mentioned that Kira's Bankai might be somewhat nauseating. Additionally guys, after Kira's recovery from his injuries, his power reached a captain's level, as described by Shazomino. Therefore guys, I think the third part is the perfect opportunity to see Kira's Bankai. And since we're talking about Kira, we can say the same for Yumichika. Kubo previously confirmed that Yumichika would be a good choice to release the Bankai in the Quincy arc, especially since Yumichika is one of the best vice captains when it comes to using Shikai, being one of the few Shinigami capable of controlling his Shikai and in a good ways, like calling it out partially or fully. So I can only imagine how amazing his Bankai will be. That's why I hope to see it in the remaining parts of the anime. And we have Isen Sasuke's Bankai. There's still a debate over whether Isen even has a Bankai or not. I have personally discussed this topic several times, but I'm including Isen's Bankai here as a potential surprise Kubo might have in store. With Kubo, you should always expect unexpected surprises, especially with all the changes that will happen, and one of which could be Isen's Bankai. Because if Kubo wants to extend the final battle, we might see Isen's Bankai, or maybe in the Hell arc, or maybe you won't see it at all. The only thing I'm certain about is that Isen does have a Bankai. And since we're speaking about the Bankai, there is a group of Shinigami that a lot of them has Bankai. The Wizards. And I feel Kubo didn't handle this group as well as he could have. Or perhaps this is just the level of their characters. And in fact, to see that, we need to see their full power of all its members. And I believe one of these characters is Love. He's a former captain of the Gote 13, so he also has a Bankai. That's why I think he might be one of those who releases their Bankai in the third part, especially since we have some events of him against Gerard. So who knows? And now guys, let's move on to the characters who have Bankai, and I don't think we will see them in the Quincy arc, but might be in the Hell arc. Starting with Isani Kotatsu. Isani, who was Urahara's vice captain, has now become the captain of the 4th division, so she certainly has a Bankai. And what's exciting here guys is that Kubo recently revealed her Shikai's ability, which is an ice type Zanpakuto. That's why guys, it would be great if we can see a third Bankai of this type, after Toshiro and Rukia. And as I said, if it happens, we'll probably see it in the Hell arc. And the same thing can be said for the legendary Shinigami Iba-sama. Iba has now become the captain of the 7th division, succeeding Komamura. But you know, at least we have seen Isani's Shikai ability, or we have heard about it from Kubo. But now we don't know nothing about Iba's Zanpakuto's name or its Shikai ability. That's why I hope the Hell arc will give Iba a chance to change the image we have about him from the previous arcs. As a vice captain, he did nothing. So Iba confirmed that he trained hard over the 10 years following the last war between Yhwach and Ichigo, and I'm curious to see what he is capable of. Although I have a feeling that Iba's Zanpakuto, the ability of his Zanpakuto might be related to Wont or like Zenosuke's Zanpakuto. And the next Bankai concerns the new captain of the 8th division, Lisa. Unlike Isani in Iba, we have seen the Shikai of Lisa, so she is one of the characters whose Bankai we might see in the Hell arc, especially since she is now a Gote captain. I previously made a video about her Bankai and what it might be like. For anyone who wants to check out, I put the link in the description. And lastly guys, we have the Bankai that I think we won't see, which includes 5 characters. The first is Yorichi's Bankai. We don't know even her Zanpakuto's name or his true Shikai or Bankai. But she mentioned in the novel that she still has a Zanpakuto and that she has a Shikai and Bankai, and she simply prefers not to use it, as she prefers fighting with other techniques like Hakuda and Shinko. Then we have the Bankai of the members of Squad Zero, specifically Nimaya, Kirenji and Hikifune. When I was reading the manga and it ended, I thought Kubo might not reveal these Bankais. However, Kubo chose a different approach by having one person release their Bankai, and that person was Shinjimaru. The other didn't release their Bankai because doing so might affect the votes. That's why we have seen the sacrifice of Nimaya and Hikifune and Kirenji, so that Shinjimaru can use the Bankai. If there is a reveal, it might be in a data, although I always have a room for surprise from Kubo. As for the last Bankai, it might be weird to hear it, but I think Hachigen has a Bankai, as he has a Zanpakuto. Some might think he doesn't have a Zanpakuto because he was a part of the Kiro squad, but he does have one. So I believe he might have a Bankai, but like many others, he doesn't use it or even his Zanpakuto, as he prefers fighting with Kiro techniques. In the end guys, what do you think about these 15 Bankai, and which Bankai you think we will see in the anime, and the Bankai that we will see in the Hell arc, and the Bankai that we probably won't see? Tell me guys about them in the comments, and see you in my next video.